Welcome to the Pharos Fit Podcast, where we help you to explore your capacity to move better, push further, and achieve your limitless potential through fitness, nutrition, recovery, and lifestyle. I think that's an important thing. I think a lot of people tell themselves the story that they're the person that gives up because they've always given up. They've always gotten 20 minutes from the end of a run and stopped. They've always gotten halfway through a workout and quit because they tell themselves the story that they're the person that quits. Like, I've always told myself the story that I'm not the person that stops and I'm not the person that quits. Welcome to the Pharos Fit Podcast. I'm here today with Brendan.
What's going on, guys? Good to be back on the show.
See you, brother. With my good wife, Emylee. And we are going to be talking about repair. But this is kind of like the next phase of repair. We've done a podcast on repair before. But this is more specifically on repair during quarantine, while we've kind of been at home, and we've talked a lot about working out during quarantine, but I know certain things have come up as to how we look after ourselves during quarantine, like problems that are across the board during quarantine with people's mobility, how people are manifesting their stress through their bodies and that kind of thing. So Emily's going to help us out with that kind of thing.
Peter, I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, God. When she says that, I get the sweats.
Well, I was doing the pre-show research for this and writing out my bullet points. And obviously, we wanted to talk about this, the idea of how stress manifests itself physically in your body. I remember one time I was so stressed, I got hives, right? I remember Jeff went blind.
Yeah.
He did? Really?
Things happen. It happens to my dad too, a form of arthritis actually called iritis. But so stress manifesting itself physically. So it would be easy, right, to go through and be like, oh, here's ways to help de-stress and manifest physically, but. And I got to be honest, I was sitting there doing the research for the show, and I had this thought that was, I don't want to do this topic. I think we should change topics. And the reason why, I think the intent is the same, right? Like stress manifesting itself. But it's why? It's Pete, I'm just going to here's what I want to talk about. Can you just trust me for a bit? We're just going to throw this away and we're going to start over. And I'd like to ask you a question.
Okay.
If you knew then what you know now.
When you when?
Pre-COVID, 4 years ago when we were...
Right, when we started the gym.
When we started the gym. If you knew then what you know now, would you have done it?
That's the question you're asking.
That's what I would like to discuss today.
Right. I mean, the ballpark answer is yes. I still would have done it. And the reason is, everything happens for a reason, right? So everything in my life had been building up to that one point when I met you and I met Jeff and we met Kate, and it was like the combination of everything coming together and I mean, this is the time, this is what's right, this is our moment to really do something that we feel like we can make a difference, we feel like we have something of value we can add and we can bring, and it felt like the right time. Now, of course, everything that's happened since, and it's not, honestly, it's not, Emily's not just referring to COVID. We've had
let me rephrase that question. If someone were to tell you 4 years ago that it would cost 4 times as much to make, that it would take 4 times as long to make, and that we'd spend the better part of a year not being open and struggling to survive and just being slapped in the face with things, would you still have started the business?
Yes. Yes, because honestly, I still don't know. Not that there aren't other choices and there are other options, but like I said, I think sometimes life brings you to a point where you have to do what you have to do, and no matter what the consequences are, at the time it was the right thing to do. Now, are there things we would have done differently had we known how things were going to pan out? Maybe, but I think for me, once we started it and once we decided what we were going to be and who we're going to be, I think really it's the story you tell yourself about yourself that helps you endure the hard times. What I mean by that is, like, I tell myself the story, like, let's say I'm going for a run and I'm 20 minutes from the end of the run. I tell myself the story, I'm not the kind of person that stops running. I'm not the kind of person that gives up. Even though I want to, it's like, I started this run, therefore I'm going to finish this run. And I think that's an important thing. I think a lot of people tell themselves the story that they're the person that gives up because they've always given up. They've always, like, gotten 20 minutes from the end of a run and stopped. They've always gotten halfway through a workout and quit because they tell themselves the story that they're the person that quits. Like, I've always told myself the story that I'm not the person that stops and I'm not the person that quits. So once we started this and once we set out down this road, it's a non-negotiable for me to see it through. And I've learned a ton of lessons on the way that are going to have value for the rest of my life. Now, you know, whether we're successful financially and whether, you know, in the future it pans out the way we hoped it will once we get through this mess, like, I have still gained enough value and learned enough lessons, and had enough good times and met enough great people and had some amazing experiences to have made it worthwhile.
Right. So this is kind of like, this is a two-parter for me. It's the idea of discussing worth, like, what is worth? Like, we 4 years ago made this business plan and obviously, like, created these projections and got investment based off of projections, right?
Right.
Spent money based on, you know, put money in expecting money to come back. So a lot of times, like, we start this business and of course we have this why of, like, we want to change and transform people's lives. And so when you're 4 years in and the numbers don't make sense and it hasn't, like, and it doesn't match the business plan, it's this idea of, like, reevaluating what worth it means to you. Like, as business owners, we realized that we did not get into this business to make money because we're 4 years in, we haven't made any money, and we still don't want to give up. Like, we're still, like, we still are in it. It's still worth it to us. And I think that's, like, an important thing to just, like, to talk about, like, why is that? How it, like, you know, how is it that we are defining worth and what makes it worth it? Because I think right now for business owners, like, we are at it's like a breaking point, you know. It's like for some of us, and some of the answer may be like, we're in too deep to go back, right? Like, you're swimming halfway across the ocean and it's like, What are you going to do? Go back? Like, you're going to drown, you know, like, it'll take just as far to go back as it is to move forward. So we just have to go forward. So there's, like, some of that, but there's also this idea of, like, worth it not being on a spreadsheet, or you can't measure worth with a calculator, right? So what has made it, like, what makes it worth it?
What makes it worth it? I mean, the community makes it worth it. The people have given back and given us so much, like, love and appreciation. And it's given me, I believe we've done enough good and touched enough people. I mean that weirdly, but I mean, you know, we've affected enough people's lives in a positive way, and we've done enough good that I feel blessed to have had the opportunity to have reached those people. Like, and it's beyond financial. It's,
people make it worth it.
People make it worth it. Yeah.
You guys listening right now makes it worth it for us to be sitting here.
And like I've seen a million times, money does not make people happy. So if we'd have started this thing, everything had gone amazingly according to plan, and we were, like, sitting on a amount of money, but we had not done it in such a way that had, like, affected people in a way that I wanted to affect them, then I would be less happy than I am now, because I believe we have done things the right way. And, you know, not everybody's agreed with everything we've done, and that's fine. But I believe we've had affected enough people positively to have made everything we've done so far worth it. And I genuinely believe that we will survive this, we will get through this, and we will continue to have that effect on people. in the future, on an even bigger scale than we are now. Has there been a ton of stress? Yes.
Let me like, have there been times that you haven't wanted to do this? Like, there've been
days when I've like, you know, the alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and I have 10 minutes of like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like,
right. And like every business owner, every person feels this way. Like, this is the thing I wanted to discuss today, because it's not just you. It's like, what is that thing that you wake up and it's like, oh, it's just like another day of this. And we have no idea when this is going to end. And the news just keeps getting like bleaker and bleaker, and more businesses are going out, and more people are turning out the lights. And more people are just like resided to this being their new normal and that not being a positive thing. And so many people just like giving up. I would love for today for us to explore, like, because we are there and we're there every day. And it's not like one day there's been one moment that I wanted to give up. Pete's right. It's like every single day there's the weight on your chest that makes you want to give up. And why do you not, like, what is it that gets you out of that hole and makes you continue to do it? So I would love for us to spend today on like why we are not quitting. Like, what is it? What is it that makes us not quit?
There's a few things. One is that God-given resilience that I feel in my heart, like, and I know you feel it too. And it's not something that's ever been taught. It's just like to be resilient and to keep fighting for what you believe in. It's just something that's in you. So that's part of it. Another part of it is just responsibility. We have a responsibility to our community. We have a responsibility to our investors. You know, when you take on investment, it's a responsibility, and you're not just going to quit on that person and say, sorry, it didn't work out. Like, it's our responsibility to make good on the faith that they put on us to do a good job. So I feel that responsibility.
We hire people. We hire people responsible for our
employees. And you know, I think it's also like with Wyatt and stuff like that. It's like you're setting examples, and you want to show to the world, you know, the kind of person that you are and the kind of things that you stand for, and you don't want to be left in a place where you're like, you know, just unhappy with yourself, unhappy with the way that you dealt with things, unhappy with the way that you acted, the fact that you threw in the towel, the fact that you quit. The fact you didn't live up to your expectations of yourself, like those things just aren't worth it to me. Like, money means less to me than self-respect. So if I was to quit and lose my own self-respect, or throw my toys and say fuck everything, then I would be left in a place mentally that is no good for me. Like, I can't be that guy.
Right. So for you, it's that. I love that word, responsibility, that like we were put on this earth and it's our responsibility. I have heard so many times people say, like, entrepreneurs, like, it's our job to solve problems. And that's true, but I don't think it's enough. Like, it's like we solve problems, meaning that we welcome problems. You know, it's not just like inherently as business owners, we see flaws in the marketplace and we want to fix them, right? Like, we went into this like trying to solve problems. I mean, hell, our name is Pharos. It is named after the first lighthouse, which is literally like, how do we shed light during a storm?
Right, exactly.
We signed up for this job. You know, we decided when we embarked on this that we were going to exist to be a light in people's day and a guide for their potential.
Right.
And that needs to happen whether it's easy on us or not. So days are not easy on us personally or whatever, but like that doesn't change our our own mission, our own why. So I think I'm like tricking you into this episode. Trust me, I've done a lot of research on this actual episode. But I think our first the first reason not to give up, or when you want to give up, why do you not give up? It really is like if your why is strong enough, like if you have a strong enough reason. And a lot of times that reason has nothing to do with you, because I know I don't wake up every day and do the job for me. I like the thing that gets me up when I'm not feeling it is other people. It's the people that I'm serving. It's the members that are here. It's the staff that are looking to me for direction on, it's like I will do it as an act of service to get through the day because I know that I have that responsibility. So, I think number one, when you want to give up, find your strong why.
Yeah. Like I said, look in the mirror and ask yourself the kind of person you want to be. Like that's key for me. Like I said, I mean, I've done podcasts on this before, but obviously the values by which you live and the stories you tell yourself about yourself, that's really what's important. That's what anchors you. That's what tells you who you are and who you want to be, how you want to be. I don't want to be famous, but how you want to be remembered and how you want to be thought of. And like I said, the examples you want to set and the code by which you live. And it is hard because, when you run a small business like this and you're trying to do a good thing, like I believe we are in the business of doing good things. We are trying to make people stronger, healthier, fitter, stronger immune systems, happier, bringing joy to people's lives. Like it's all that. I genuinely believe we are doing a good thing for society. Now, when you feel like the city is working against you and our governors are working against us and the people that set the rules are working. Sometimes our neighbors, like whatever it is, are working against you. It's like, what the hell is going on? All we are trying to do is provide a good service. We believe we're doing that. And you guys, everyone, it seems sometimes all these people around us are throwing slings and arrows at us and trying to get us fucking shut down. Right. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right.
Like everything we are doing is to better mankind in some sense. I know that sounds bold, but that is right. In essence what we're trying to do. So when you get all these like negative things that are happening to you and at you, it's like, what the fuck is happening in society?
And it really makes you doubt that.
It makes you doubt. It's like, what are you fighting for? Why are you fighting for a better culture, better community, better society?
It seems like they don't want it.
When it seems sometimes that people don't want it. Like people are content to be assholes, or it's so that is a struggle, and you wrestle with that every day. And I think honestly, the biggest problem with this pandemic is not the COVID per se. It's what we've learned about human nature and the way that people behave when bad things happen. And it's not all good, people. It's not all good. Like there's been obviously a lot of bad things that have come out of this.
Now to the flip side, because that is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, man, we'll have a good day, and then we'll wake up and think we're gonna have a good day, and then get to the gym, and then realize it's been vandalized and covered in lard, and having to spend all morning trying to.
What?
Oh, Brandon, you didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, the peeps, they don't know about it. Yeah, we've been vandalized. We've been now it just seems like between noise complaints, cops, city inspectors, transient people coming, breaking glass, throwing bottles and breaking glass and the thing. It's like, it just seems like every week there's something. And because there's so much negativity, it really is easy to be like, what's the even point? What are we even, is it worth it here? And so I feel like it is an important place to pause, because the thing that pulls us out of that is that, one person vandalized our parking lot, but 30 people came that morning and all helped to clean it. We had, like Andre, he was just a rock star, and we had like Jose, and we're getting like Ubered a pressure washer, and everything's happening at 5 a.m. And then members are texting us saying, "I'm so sorry this happened. Let us know if you need anything. Let us know. We'll security cameras and blah blah blah. Like, just let us know." And so it's so important to remember that even though negativity often has more weight to it, like it's more powerful, like the one sling of negativity can be so powerful. It's important to remember that, even if it's a softer sound, it's not as stabbing. Like there's so much positivity, and we are doing so much positivity. And for just as many, neighbors who are upset that we are operating outside, because we have to, and we don't have a choice. There are, 300 to 500 people who appreciate that we lug all this equipment out every single day, and that we're providing a service, and that our non-negotiable is that we exist beyond these four walls. We promise them a stellar service, and we're going to do that. So that's another one, like remembering that negativity may have more weight to it, so to remind yourself the positive. And that may be like a gratitude thing. Like I know that's big for me. Like the thing that pulls me out is the gratitude to each and every member. Like, and I gotta tell you, if you are listening to this, it's probably, because we're new, so people generally know us at this point. You have come to us and said, this is the best part of my day. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for, I see you every morning lugging this stuff out. You guys don't have to do this. You keep going above and beyond. Thanks for continuing to pivot. Like all of those little like moments and things that each and every one of you have said, it like that helps. That is just a daily driving force. It's like, okay, I can get through this next day, you know?
And also like, it is that thing of like, we have to be aware enough to know that, and this isn't just us, this is everybody. For every negative comment you get and every negative person out there are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 positive people. And we all know that feeling of when someone writes something just nasty and negative on your like Instagram, which is stupid and it shouldn't matter, but for some stupid reason we let it affect us. There's 20 other good comments that are nice. And for some reason, we often let that one comment destroy our entire day and give us anxiety. Now, I've had this a bunch of times, and I know you have too. So it's really, sometimes you have to take a deep breath and believe that there are enough good people out there to make everything you do worthwhile. And it's going to restore the faith that you put in what you're doing, restore the faith that you put in people, and give you that energy and that passion and that need to keep doing what you're doing and to keep making the differences that you're making, because it is worth it. And there are good people, and we do still believe in society and America, and we believe in what we're doing, and we believe like we will come out of this and restore things to the way that they should be. Like I said, sometimes it feels like everything is working against you, no matter what you do. But we haven't given up yet, and we won't. We just won't. But yeah, some days are harder than others. There's no getting away from that. And no matter the hard thing is, I remember when I was younger, like if something bad would happen, sometimes you would close your eyes and you just imagine a place where you would go and things would be better. Well, we're in this place now where there are no places left like that. You can't close your eyes and think, oh, if I move here, it's going to be better, because we know now, like, this is a global thing. Like, it's not, you can't move to a different state and expect, things are just going to be better, because they're not. Like, obviously I came from England. I moved here because I wanted to build the life that I wanted to build, and we did that. And it's now under threat, obviously. But I'm not under the illusion that, if I just like pack it in and go somewhere else, suddenly it's going to be a magical cure.
You don't want to go back to the Isle of Wight.
No, I don't want to go back to the Isle of Wight, as much as I love my family. There is no like
better place to be.
There is no somewhere over the rainbow here. There's no fucking click my heels and there's no place like home. It just doesn't exist. Yeah. So all you can do is kind of like dig your heels in and fight for what you believe in, and take a stand for what you believe in, and that's all you can do. Because anything else is just running away at this point, you know. And if you run away from what you believe in and who you think you are, then you're lost anyway. So you might as well fight. Yes,
a strong why, positivity or gratitude. So like, if when you want to give up, if this was like a checklist of things, a very strong why of that non-negotiable, like what it is that we're doing this, and like what kind of person do you want to be? Because I like that. Like I want to be the kind of person that someone is like, wow, I get knocked down, but I get up again. You know, like that's I like that.
Tough something. Great song.
Be Weebles wobble, but never fall down. Like I want to be the Weeble.
Well, and honestly, you think about it, like, you know, there's all the boxing analogies in the world and all the fighting analogies of like the best fighter in the world is the one that gets up when it gets knocked down. You know, and you have to look at it like that. Like, this is a 12-round fight. We're in fucking round 11 and we're on the floor, but
yeah. but we're still.
But by God, I'm going to get up and.
Are you sure it's only round 11? I hope it is.
How many rounds did you say there were?
Well, it's definitely round 11, but it might not be a 12-round fight.
Yeah, it might be a 24-round fight.
That's the issue.
Okay, speaking of, this is a good transition to my third thing to get you up out when you feel like giving up. Tony Robbins would call this the change your state, but I know especially for our community this lands fitness. When you want to give up, work out.
Right.
When you want to give up, work out. Seriously, like I will be straight up depressed when I wake up and not want to do whatever is on my to-do list. And if I have 15 minutes before Wyatt wakes up, I'll find myself on the bike and I'll get 15 minutes of a little bit of movement and my brain starts to go and things start to fire and I start to feel better. Like chemically, I am better. When like if you are upset, just move. And if it's not like, oh, you can't, you know, if you're not quite in a routine that working out is like a great thing that you want to do right now, just get outside, change your state, get some vitamin D, go on a walk, you know, sweat and move, because it's incredible how much it makes a difference. And, you know, I think one of the reasons people come and are so positive and so nice and they say like, thank you for this place. I don't know that my, you know, they always say my mental state would not be the same if it wasn't for this place. And it's because like you come in, you work out, you get to see some people. So that might be number 4, community, you know, like human connection. And like, you know, something to get you up, you know, get you in your body and out of your mind and out of the world and out of, you know, the stress or the anxiety of the what ifs. And you're just, you know, physically enduring something, and that makes you mentally stronger.
Yeah, I always just say you're only ever one workout away from feeling completely different. And that is true. It completely changes your brain, your mindset, your outlook, how you feel about yourself, how you feel about the world. And that is of huge value. And that is something, this is what kind of infuriates me about this situation, is because people right now are so depressed, so angry, so fed up, and working out is the one thing that's keeping them going. And you're going to stand there and you're going to say to me, even though there's been no outbreaks, there is zero proof that this is spread in gyms in the way that we've been doing it, you're going to shut us down. You're going to cut that off for people when it's the one thing they're holding on to. There is no sense in that. There is no science in that. And if you do that, then you simply don't understand the value of fitness, of strength, of health, of metabolic health, you know, of everything that we do here. So that's what infuriates me the most, is that you are making those decisions without the science relative to this. You're saying, in general, we believe that crowds are a problem, therefore we're going to shut everything down.
Right.
Without saying, well, we studied gyms that were operating outside and all that had plenty of space and that had all these procedures in place and were doing a great job. And the reality is there was very little infection. It did not spread and it was not an issue. That has never been proven.
Let's face
and
it, from the beginning, like the focus on health, or, you know, like it was stay inside as opposed to like get vitamin D, be outside, do, right, you know, focus on your health. And it wasn't until we were at home for 3 months that people were like, well, you can go outside and you can, they like, I mean, hiking trails were closed. What's wrong with people? Like, what is happening in this world? That like we have a global pandemic that is like literally attacking people with like with suppressive poor immune systems, and we're going to shut down every opportunity for them to strengthen their immune system. So it's move your body.
Yeah. So that is the hardest thing. Knowing and seeing every day what it does for people and how it helps people, and knowing that is under threat is really hard for us to deal with and to see and to live with that anxiety on a daily basis. But again, it all comes down. It's almost like, it's almost like a stubborn resilience. It's almost like, oh yeah, well, fuck you, I'm going to keep going. Like, it's almost that for me. It's like getting hit really hard in the face and then just turning around and saying, oh yeah, fuck you.
Right.
Do it again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it sucks because like the personal responsibility on people itself sucks. And you guys are here saying, hey, be responsible. We're being responsible, taking responsibility for your health. We'll take care of this. And It's like, well, now you're shitting on us. Like, we're actually here to solve the problem.
Right.
Yeah. And it's also hard because obviously you see like, there's obviously this huge encouragement for people to stay home and to order takeout in, and like there's adverts for like ice cream and chocolate and fucking all this shit everywhere and sugary drink, all this stuff, like everything that's making them feel worse, everything that's making them more unhealthy, everything that's adding to a worse immune system. But that isn't even talked about. That isn't even like...
Right.
You don't see Garcetti on the news saying,
please take
you know
care
what?
of yourself.
Please take care of your bodies. Please stop eating this shit. Please stop doing terrible things to your immune systems. Please stop digesting shit, because it's going to make you worse. Because the reality is, no matter how much you try and hide from this, at some point you're going to be exposed to this virus. Like any virus, at some point you're going to be exposed to it, and it's going to be like, how well can your immune system deal with it? And you know what you can do? You can protect yourself. Get vitamin D, eat healthy food, hydrate, work out, exercise, bulletproof yourself.
Bulletproof yourself.
Yeah, I mean that's it for me, and it's and it infuriates
well, that is the
me.
episode, right? Like we're talking about bulletproofing our can-do attitude, right? Like every time we feel like, God, this is just getting so much harder. Yeah. What are the things that help us bulletproof ourselves? Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like let us do our duty. Let us do our jobs. Our job and our duty are like sworn oath is to make people strong and healthy, and that's because that's what we believe in. That's our task, and we believe we're pretty good at it. So allow us to do that. Allow us to help people build up their immune systems and stay strong and keep that mental health.
It is
and
amazing.
at the same time help them by advising them, like, yeah, we believe in health and fitness. We believe people should eat healthy diets. We believe people should stop drinking a ton of sugar. We believe people should stop eating fast food and shitty food. I'm not saying you can cure that thing overnight. Like, you're not going to go from an unhealthy country to a healthy country overnight. You're not going to cure the obesity problem overnight. But at least fucking talk about it. At least mention it. At least say, like, this is the real problem here. We are an unhealthy culture. We've allowed ourselves to become an unhealthy culture. So for God's sake, let's stop. Let's change something. Rather than let's all stay at home and eat let's order in shit food forever because outside bad, inside good.
Yeah, it's amazing too. When you endure something physically, like the reason why exercise is so good for mental clarity and so good for your state of mind is because overcoming a physical challenge makes you feel like I can do anything. Like you do,
right.
That feeling of like first you feel like dying, you're in the middle of this workout and you're like, oh my God, I can't possibly do this. And why do I show up for this? And what am I even doing? And, and then as soon as the workout is over, you're like, whew, I am limitless. I can do anything. I have a better day. I can, just tackle a lot more. So, physical fortitude breeds that mental resilience that keeps you from giving up, or just, resigning yourself to
Yeah. It's like we
Just
always say,
watching news all day.
everything we do in here helps you with everything you do out there.
And we really do believe that.
We do believe that.
Absolutely. You know, some people work from the inside out and some people work from the outside in, you know?
Yeah, we said this is a training ground. It's a training ground for the body and it's a training ground for the mind. And we can prepare you for the bad world out there by doing bad things in here, you know?
Yeah, right.
That's how resilience is built.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, at the same time, so we've gone through a very strong why and like positivity / gratitude, exercise, working out, and human connection, right? Human connection, keeping like, I don't even realize how lucky I am, you know, the way in which we're able to operate right now as of this date, depending on if we're maybe a day away from being shut down, whatever. But the way in which we're able to operate right now, I don't even realize how lucky I am that I get to see so many people every day, you know, like
for sure. Social interaction,
that social interaction like feeds my soul. I know, again, sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and be like, yet another day and nothing changes. And I have no more creative solutions to this problem that we are continually dealing with. And I'll just like come here and different, you know, and get to see so many different people, and people will come in for classes, you know, and I'll be it's like we said, bless you. It was good. It was a good sneeze. It's like we say, stronger together, safely apart. That's kind of our like COVID policy right now, is like, ultimately we do believe in human interaction. We believe that we have to have it. Like depression is amplified with isolation. Like people, like isolation is a form of torture. Like when we want to torture people, we put them up by themselves and in isolation. So
when you behaved badly in school, you had detention, like on your own.
Right.
Yes.
Like, you know, even timeout chair like that, it starts as a kid, you know?
Yeah, the government right now is continually putting us in timeout.
Yes, we're just
we haven't done anything wrong.
Timeout. But I really do believe that like we're at this place that like, we're stronger when we are together and when we can find creative ways to be together. Like we're about to put on this community drive where we're collecting all these essentials, and it was just going to be within the Pharos community. And I believe that we could like get a ton of people or a ton of items just from us. But I'm like, wait, let's do it with all of Echo Park. Let's invite the local businesses to all participate in this essentials drive to, you know, gather personal care items that we can fill bags and give out to Echo Park homeless and a part of the Los Angeles mission. So we're doing that. But we realize that we will have a much, much larger impact the more people we recruit, right? The more, the larger our community is, the larger impact we will have. And so I think that's a huge thing, is like, if you are erring on the side of caution and you are staying home, find ways to connect with people and to amplify your effect with other people, you know, whether that's physically getting together at a 8 to 10 foot distance outside in one of our classes, or, you know, meeting up for someone, going for a walk, or, you know, organizing this massive charity drive that you can really show what you can achieve when we get people together. Because I think that like this, the damage of isolation is so much more than we even realize. And if we can promote this idea of stronger together, safely apart, I think it'll really help our steps of healing, of getting back to what feels right. Yeah. Human connection.
Yeah, I agree.
And I have another one for you.
Oh my God. Okay.
I told you I was prepared. I thought a lot about this.
Send it in.
Send it in. So a lot of people are very stressed out, and we spoke to fitness being a great de-stressor, right? But ultimately, let's face it, when you're working out, you are still stressing your body. you know, like you are undergoing stress. And so I think we're experiencing this so much right now. And it is what we thought this episode wanted to be about, right? Was how we are repairing, what we are doing to deload the physical manifestation of stress. You know, so many people are, you know, grinding their teeth at night and stressing out. I'm working with someone right now on like undoing the damage of sitting at their desk in a like posture program specific to, you know, working from home now a lot. Finding a repair protocol to complement whatever it is that you're doing. So, a good place to start is like an Epsom salt bath, right? Like just doing something. Like, you know, you need to shower. So if you like, you know that you have to, like, it's already a part of your life, right? Cleaning
You know what's
yourself.
been helping me?
Tell me.
Like Epsom salt baths and then that box breathing in an Epsom salt bath.
Oh, very good. So
Trying to like,
box breathing, for those that don't know, is you create a box with your breath, matching the inhales. So you might have a 4-second inhale, a 4-second pause at the top, a 4-second exhale, and a 4-second pause at the bottom. So technically an 8-second inhale, hold, 8-second exhale, hold. And it could be varying lengths, right? Like you could build up a 10-second box breathing and really go from there. So that is a great tool. So you just named 2 really simple things that already work out in your routine and work out with in your routine with your son, right? Like you do bath time with Wyatt. And so you start out and you're in the bath and you're doing your box breathing, and then Wyatt comes in and then you're like in dad mode, you know, but you still have that like kind of moment to yourself. Another one is if you do have a workout routine, just take 10 extra minutes afterwards. We see this happen all the time. You're in class, and as soon as the workout is done, you're just like, get up and leave. Try to challenge yourself not to do that. Your body is warm. It responds best to your stretching protocols when it's warm, and post-workout, it literally is
or stretch when you get home if it's not.
But you know, making sure that you take the time post workout, since that is already a part of your routine, to do. So to find your recovery practices, don't shortchange your stretches. I can do it doesn't have to be long, you know, it shouldn't be more than 10 minutes. You could have like a full hour repair situation. You know, we have pre-recorded repair classes that you can go and do. But we also have this mobility and meditation challenge, right? 21 days of mobility videos. They're no more than 10 minutes a day. You can follow along and do it. It can be in the privacy of your own home, you know, but carve out the time and do something for yourself that is not just how much can you lift, how much can you tear your body down and feel good, you know, and have that like workout high of de-stressing, but what are you physically, how are you actually getting out of fight or flight, turning on your parasympathetic nervous system, and allowing that to kind of work itself out.
Yeah.
Cortisol levels.
There's a link to that in every show too, so if someone wants to sign up for that.
Oh, great! So if you just scroll right down to wherever you're listening podcasts right now, you'll find in the show notes a link to the Mobility and Meditation Challenge. 21 days, $21, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it is really important to get out of high stress mode, because it is like that. Sometimes, you know, you wake up, you go to work, you're busy, you work out, everything's like stressed. Then you go home, you watch some news, and you get even more stressed. Like, so it's just like this escalating stress elevator that sometimes you have to get off of, and just allow yourself, turn off the news, breathe, do something, you know, do something good to your body, read.
Or journal. I find like
read, journal.
You're the reader. Yeah. I am the journaler.
Please
I am the like
news.
get the word vomit and brain vomit out of my brain and onto paper. And yeah, you're much more of the like escape your brain into like into a story or into a book.
Yeah, I just like to read about stuff that has nothing to do with what's happening right now.
Yes.
Like you have to escape it, because otherwise it just consumes you, and it's just, you know, it's never ending.
Yeah.
So something that like takes you away from the reality of what's happening, at least for a few minutes. You know me, I'm only good for a chapter or two before I fall asleep. But even that, you know, it helps you just like, you know, fall into someone else's story for a while, or fall into another reality for a time, just to get away from this.
Yeah.
You know?
That is my last step of my show notes that I've made. It's escape. Well, escape is my last.
Oh, escape is the last one.
And ways that you find that escape, because sometimes you want to give up, but really you just need some perspective. Like you just need a break. You just need time. It's
like when we went to Montana.
Yeah.
Like we went nonstop for, I can't remember what it was. It 6 months I did without a break, or 7 months, or whatever it was.
You didn't have a day off since March
12th,
15th,
whatever it was. Yeah, I was just. It was earlier than that actually, because I've been working 7 days a week before that. So I was just fried. And that trip to Montana, just like, it was just me and you and Wyatt in the truck. Just the moment we sat in that truck and the moment we just drove out of LA, I felt like I was a different person. We had East Street Radio on the radio.
Big Spruce.
I was 16 again. I was like just finding Springsteen, and I was like, yes. Even though the reality of like nothing was better here. Like we hadn't, we weren't out of COVID or anything, but just the act of doing something that felt like we were escaping. It felt like, you know, freedom in some sense. It felt like, it felt like there was more to life than everything that was consuming us at that time. And it was just an incredible escape from the daily grind. And I think it's important that people, like, I know they're telling people not to travel right now, but like do whatever you can to like do what you need to do to get your mind right.
Escape doesn't have to be
right.
a 2,000-mile road trip to Montana and back, right? But it can just be that you
turning everything off.
Yeah, taking everything off, driving out to the beach. Like we're in Los Angeles, and it's like could be a half an hour or 40-minute drive away. And if you have an afternoon, like maybe it would just be so good for your soul if you decided to, instead of sitting at home and watching the news, if you just escaped your reality for a moment and did something else. If it was, go to a hike that you haven't seen. If it's just, you can escape in your own backyard a lot of times.
Yeah, like me with my bow, right? That's
huge.
Just a couple of times a week, if I can get out of the back and just fire off 100 arrows with my bow, like just for an hour, whatever it is, like, and I don't think about anything else apart from the arrow and the target. Like, seems like a stupid thing, but it's
same
essential.
with riding a motorcycle. It's that moment of like it is such an escape because you can't think about anything else. You can only focus on what's right in front of you.
Right.
And, like as soon as you get off the bike, it feels like, you just get a little perspective. Nice little escape. All right. So to recap, when you want to give up,
take a look in the mirror, ask yourself about the person you want to be, how you want to be thought of, and dig your heels in and fight for who you want to be. And, what do you represent and who do you represent? And who's looking to you? Who's relying on you? What are you responsible for? And how do you want to conduct yourself through hard times? Because if you can conduct yourself like that in hard times, then the easy times will be so much easier. I think performing well in hard times gives you a sense of, I think a sense of respect, both of yourself and from others, that allows you to move forward more.
Right. Like I don't believe in myself as much as my team does a lot of the times,
right.
as much as our community does a lot of the times.
It puts strength in your step.
Yes.
It puts a length in your stride. It holds your chest up and your chin up a little bit higher. And, you move forward from a better place because you proved who you were when the fucking chips were down. And, there's huge value in that. There's huge value in that. And it's a cliche now. It's like, oh yeah, you define who you are not in the good times, but in the bad times. And it is a cliche, but it's true.
Yeah.
Like,
I heard a great podcast where this Amy Porterfield, she's great, but she was talking about like, I didn't actually realize what a strong leader I was until COVID. And I was like, whoa, cool. But I can't even imagine what that journey must have been like for her things must have been so bad. And she's like, I gotta hold this ship in together. And it made her realize just how capable she had been this entire time. And that it took something horrible for her to like just realize what a gift for leading the ship she has, you know. And I heard her speaking to that, and I'm like, I want that. Like, I want to look back at this moment and to be like, I didn't even realize what I was capable of as a leader until COVID hit. And then it, like, that test showed me, and I rose to the occasion, and I have the community and the team to show for it and the vibe to show for it. And one day I hope to also have the money to show for it.
Yeah, I know. Honestly, I remember when this first thing happened, March 15th. I think March 16th was the Monday. March 15th was the Sunday. Mm-hmm. And you said to me, like, why are you okay with this? And the reason I was like okay at that time is because, like, honestly, I was excited to reveal something about myself. I was excited to show like the world and my community and whatever it was that I was capable of leading them through this. Now, that at some point, like, it hasn't felt like that throughout. I haven't always woken up and felt like that. I hadn't always woken up excited to show my leadership skills. I would be lying if I had felt like that. But that's how I felt in the beginning. Like, this is an opportunity to show your qualities, whatever those qualities are. And I think when I've been at my best during this year, it's been when I've told myself that this is an opportunity to show your values, and to reveal parts of yourself that you want to reveal.
Ooh, good one.
Well, thanks for that curveball. That was
yeah. Did you like
fun.
that? Do you remember that time? It was like a few episodes back that you were like, "Oh, Emylee." It was like update the people. That was like what we were supposed to be doing, and you threw the curveball, asking me what my 5-year plan was. And I have to tell you, I was in such a bad place that day. Like, I was so not prepared to talk about what I wanted for a year or 5 years, and it just felt like any answer would have been a lie in that moment. And I was so mad at you for throwing that curveball. I think I blanked out of the whole, like, the rest of the podcast. I'm like not even talking in the rest of it. I'm just like, what do you want, Peter? You know, right. But I think it's important to, like, that's why I wanted this episode so much, because that happens, like that feeling happens where it's like, don't talk to me about the future. Don't talk to me about what I'm going to do. Don't, like, I just want to crawl into a ball. Yeah. I just want to crawl into a ball right now. And so I think, like, having actionable strategies for why and how we don't curl up into a ball, and how we, you know, show our true character in times of struggle is probably going to be more beneficial than laying out the importance of stretching. But I do think you should stretch right now. Right. As we're talking. In fact, how long has this been? 45 minutes. I wish that I would have started it being like, okay, stretch while you're listening to this episode.
Okay, guys, we will leave it there. Thank you so much, Emylee. That was great. Thanks for coming in, Brendan. And again, I gotta say thank you to all of you guys out there that continue to support us. I was outside in the car park today and just seeing everyone work out. We're currently not playing any music in the lot because we had complaints from the neighbors about being outside and playing music. And all of our members are just cracking on with it. They're just getting down to work. And it just fills my heart and my soul with thanks and joy and gratitude. And it reminds us of how lucky we are to have members like you. So thank you again from the bottom of our hearts. And we will keep fighting for you and keep doing everything we can to keep this thing going. So thanks again. We will see you soon. Don't forget, you can follow us at Pharos Echo Park on Instagram. We are at 1316 Glendale Blvd in Echo Park if you want to swing by and see us. And yeah, all that good stuff.
And if you're interested in helping us donate essentials, pharos.fit/drive will be at the bottom of the show notes. And you can donate there. And we can do some work this holiday season.
Do some good. All right, guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.